Dec, it's been a while since we last caught up, so we'll jump straight into things here. One friendly left in pre-season. We've Shelburne coming down to Turner's Cross on Friday, but straight into the league then we're away to Bray next week. So what are the expectations ahead of the new season?
Yeah, thanks Aaron. I suppose just as you said, it's been a while since we've caught up. We had our last video there in November, and I suppose we promised more consistent communication with fans and supporters. I feel we've done that. We've I appeared on the Toe Tap podcast there as well towards the end of the season, and we've tried more kind of diverse ways now as well to get members of the club and the staff and the players out there in front of fans and supporters over the winter months where there really isn't a lot happening around the club. We had Colin Healy as well on the Toe Tap podcast as well there earlier in the week. Encourage everyone to pick that up on all your usual podcast streaming services. A brilliant interview, so fair play to the lads and fair play to Colin going on. I think he invited them up to Bishopstown as well for a coffee as well to watch training, so hopefully we get to see them out there as well at some stage this season. But looking forward to more of these videos going out in the season ahead, Aaron, and very excited, as you said as well, with the Shells friendly now in Turner's Cross on Friday. A curtain raiser really, I suppose, for the season ahead, and we don't typically have pre-season friendlies at Turner's Cross. It's a bit of an undertaking. Obviously, it's similar to a league game. We're expecting a large crowd. There's a huge setup work involved from all the staff and the volunteers, similar to any league game. So it's a nice thing for supporters to be able to do as well before the season starts. Our first game is away to Bray Wanderers as well. So ahead of that huge game against Galway later in February, it's a great introduction to the season, and hopefully a great run out for the lads as well against a Premier Division side.
Just suppose going straight into the football side of stuff there, transfers, we've a good few signings in, so what would kind of Colin's hopes for the season be? Is it a case of we want to get up this year, and I think he's been on record saying it's all about promotion this year, so...
Yeah, we had a good meeting with Colin there last week. Actually, it was very positive. We've obviously backed him as you can clearly see as well in the transfer market over the winter period. He's brought in a lot of quality signings. Obviously it'd be amiss of me not to say as well. Just want to give our absolute best wishes to Gordon Walker. An absolute warrior of a player for the club last year. He joined the club last season, and he's captured the support of the fans, of course, with his performances that he put in. Extremely hard worker, has the respect of everyone across the club, and we wish him the absolute best. It's a horrific injury he suffered, but can't wait to see him back in front of the fans in Turner's Cross, and that'll be a great moment when he does run back out onto the pitch again. As you said, very excited about the season ahead. I think as we've seen some of the new signings that have come in, James Duna, Rory Keating, and some of the players we've been able to retain as well and hold on to from last year, Aaron Bolger, Barry Coffey coming back in now as well on loan for the first half of the season. So exciting times, and a lot of fan favourites staying with the club, and some new faces as well that will hopefully impress the fans here at the Cross as well.
Jumping over to the academy side of things, there was some negative coverage, negative press last week. There was an email sent out from the Cork Schoolboys League to ourselves and Cove Ramblers as well regarding the development of the new Under-14 League of Ireland. I suppose do we have a response to that, an update of some sort?
Yeah, look, we've handled that one privately, Aaron. To be honest, I sent a reply back to the Cork Schoolboys League in response to that email that was sent to ourselves and Cove Ramblers. Look, just to start off, as I stressed in my reply to that email as well, we've absolutely the utmost respect for everyone involved in the Cork Schoolboys League and Schoolgirls League, who do produce players as part of essentially the football pyramid in this country. And we are the senior team in Cork, representing Cork in the League of Ireland and the Women's National League, and a lot of the players in our club naturally come from the local clubs and teams around the city and county. We have fantastic relationships with them. We leverage the use of their training facilities very often. Their players and coaches come to our facilities to check things out. We send coaches and players to their sessions and contribute there. Our secretary and club staff have dealt with their secretaries and volunteers around the Cork Schoolboys and Schoolgirls Leagues impeccably over the last couple of years. We've never had a bad word from any clubs directly to us, so that caught us by surprise, to be honest. And look, this whole arrangement with the Under-14s League and the delayed start was communicated to us quite late, as preparations had already begun from the academy coaches that are involved in those teams. They have to prepare as best as they possibly can, and ultimately the biggest priority here for us, Aaron, is player development, and providing that pathway for players if they want to get into professional football and have longevity in the game. And look, this decision was way above our heads. It's impacting schoolboys and schoolgirls leagues all across the country. Essentially, this isn't just a Cork issue, Cork City FC or Cove Ramblers. This is impacting all teams all over the country. So look, again, huge respect for the Cork Schoolboys League in particular, and you see a lot of our players progress to the first team. Some have moved abroad recently as well. But look, the only disappointing aspect, of course, was that that email was sent, and it wasn't just to ourselves and Cove Ramblers. It included a number of members of the media, and it appeared publicly within minutes of it being sent, and it didn't even give us an opportunity to read the thing in full. So look, we like to conduct our business professionally, and I'm very accessible and open to meetings. Anyone can reach out to me at any time. I had never had any contact from anyone from the Cork Schoolboys League prior to that email, which was again very disappointing. Like I suppose I like to think that we can always sit down and discuss these things over a chat and a coffee and thrash things out for the betterment of players and player development ultimately. And leave egos at the door really, and make sure that we sort things out amicably. And unfortunately, I did create a bit of a storm last week. But look, I think from the responses we've got from our own supporters and discussions we've had internally at the club, everyone is very satisfied with how we conduct our business.
Some more positive news on the academy side of things then was the transfer of Cathal Heffernan to AC Milan last week. So
look, a huge moment for him especially, and a huge moment as well have to be said for the academy coaches and all involved, as well as especially in the Cork Schoolboys League as well, with Ring Mahon that developed Cathal, and it's a huge move for him. He's going on loan out to AC Milan with an option to move permanently there in the summer. And look, it's a great moment for him, great moment for the club. Everyone involved in the academy side of things as well can be immensely proud of themselves in the part that they've played in his development, and we wish him all the best in his next couple of months on loan at Milan.
So as we mentioned earlier, we're in Turner's Cross at the moment. We're here in the new Easy Living Suite. We opened it, I think it was the last game against Galway last year, and it's going to be open again from the Shells game and for the rest of the league games this season. So Easy Living are kind of a new partners on board in this regard in the last year or so. So we've plenty of partners this season as well, and new and returning partners as well ahead of the new season. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, I think you just have to look around now and see the amount of effort that they've put in, and very much looking forward to welcoming them back as well, and all our other partners for the season ahead. UCC, the Mardyke, Brian Lennox of Jackie Lennox Chip Shop as well. We have new partners coming on board as well this year, especially as well, you mentioned the academy as well. It's obviously gaining a lot more attraction and attention, and a lot of companies want to get part of player development as well, in a way to support the club. Everseen are coming on board as well now, a huge company based in Cork, and very excited to have them on board also as well for the season ahead. Paul DC on the commercial side is working hard as well with maintaining positive relationships with our existing sponsors and partners and friends of the club, and great to see some new ones come on board as well. So some exciting announcements to come in the coming weeks on that front. But fantastic facility here in the Easy Living Suite. It's great to be able to have this interview now in a nice comfortable spot, and looking forward to welcoming some guests to games over the coming weeks and months.
I suppose the main partners there are UCC and Jackie Lennox's, and we were in UCC on Tuesday. The board, staff and players got a tour, but JP Quinn gave us a tour around the campus, so that was a good outing for the club. Yeah,
of course, it's a brilliant day for the club. Got a great tour from Mr. Elite himself, JP Quinn, and fantastic tour of UCC, and the players and staff all learned a lot about the history of the university. Great to again UCC on board, of course, for the season coming ahead, and the Mardyke Arena provide fantastic facilities for the players, up there with some of the best in Europe. And as I said, another key sponsor of the club and partner, Jackie Lennox, which is just around the corner from UCC. They're on board again as head sponsor of the women's team as well. So fantastic to always have Brian's support. He's a fantastic friend of the club, and looking forward to seeing him as well back at the Cross very soon as well, and catching up with himself.
Aside from football stuff, so more boardroom stuff, what's the current situation regarding the club's finances and stuff like that?
Things are going very well, Aaron. To be honest, it's the most positive position we've been in financially with the club for the last number of years. It has to be said. We've proved that with the investment we've made on the pitch and off the pitch over the last couple of months as well. Improvements to Bishopstown, the on the pitch investments that Colin has made, and we still budget prudently, but we'll be very excited to share some updates with members on the financial position of the club at the next AGM. It'll be a much more relaxed conversation, I would imagine, than previous years. And yeah, as well, on top of that, we've established an audit, risk and compliance committee as well within Forest. So they've already met once. It comprises of professionals across some of the big multinationals across Cork, accountants from some of the big accountancy firms across Ireland, and we'll be excited as well to share updates with members on that in the coming days and at the AGM as well. It's just hugely important that yes, while the current boards that are in place have put in place a number of measures to secure the financial long-term future of the football club, it's important that after we're gone and our terms have finished, that this is maintained and that this committee is in place to make sure that good governance and corporate governance is upheld within the club going forward, and we don't get into similar positions than we've been in the last couple of years. But look, thankfully that's all behind us now. It's a huge year ahead for the club. We're all striving for one thing, to absolutely get back into the Premier Division, which will obviously comes with additional financial benefits to the club. But again, we'll budget prudently, hope for the best and plan for the worst, and that's basically the way we've approached things over the last couple of years, and that mindset won't steer us wrong this season again.
Following on from that then, I suppose, do we have an update or any developments on the Grovemore situation with the potential takeover of the club?
Yeah, Aaron, look, we have been in deep conversations with Grovemore over the last number of weeks especially. Look, I think it just goes without saying, the passing of Trevor Hemmings as well, and again offer our deepest condolences to his family and friends and Grovemore. And look, naturally when something like that happens so suddenly, the complexity of their organisation, it's fully understandable to a certain extent that they do need more time to go through with this process. Unfortunately, it's taken a bit longer than we would have expected, and that we gave the expectation to our supporters that this would be resolved over the winter period, but sadly it hasn't, and Grovemore have requested a little bit more time to get their decisions in place on this and the next steps forward. We have reiterated to Grovemore many times over the last number of weeks, especially that we need certainty on this. It's not fair on our supporters, the staff, the members of the club, and we are trying to make sure that we do get a commitment date from Grovemore, and they have assured us as well that that will be forthcoming very soon. But look, naturally, it's a frustrating thing for everyone. It's frustrating for us as a board. It's frustrating for supporters. They still have expressed interest in taking over Cork City FC, which is very positive as well. That's ultimately what the goal of all of this was originally, and we hope that comes to fruition. But nevertheless, the board is still here. We're still running the club. We're still making sure that the club is, as I said, upholding good corporate and financial governance. And we have our AGM as well coming up very soon, which we'll communicate out to members the details on as well shortly. And it's business as usual for us, and we will strive to get this resolved one way or another. It's an extremely frustrating one for everyone involved in the club, the board, the supporters of the club especially, and the members who voted on this some time ago. And rest assured, we will hope that this is drawn to a conclusion very soon, and we're striving to resolve it as soon as possible.
Right, so we'll move on to a couple of questions that were sent in on social media over the weekend.
Looking forward to this.
First of all, how many points are we going to win the league by?
It doesn't even have to be points, Aaron. I take goal difference now at this stage. But yeah, I suppose 1 would be the answer there. But by any means necessary.
We'll move over to Facebook here, Dec. There's a question from Val McGuire. What's happening about the Glamwire Project? Do we have any sort of update there?
Yeah, unfortunately we don't, Darren. I think, look, first and foremost, just to be absolutely clear on it, this is an FAI project, and yes, Cork City FC are planned to be the anchor tenants of this proposed project. It hasn't even started yet, essentially, and progress has been extremely slow. It's very disappointing. We would have hoped, at least in the next year or two, maybe when this was first mooted many years ago, that we would be in by now, and at least have some teams training there and possibly even playing academy games. But look, it just hasn't happened, and unfortunately it's very disappointing for us. But as I said earlier, we as a board, we hope for the best and plan for the worst, and we have to plan for the eventuality that this may not happen, and we are planning for that eventuality. And with the club now, with a growing number of teams, we are working in the background with a number of different options for the long-term future of training facilities for the club. But unfortunately, look, no firm update on that, sadly. As I said, it is an FAI project, and we're at the mercy of updates on that end.
And we have a few quick fire questions here now for you, Dec. Starcade or WrestleMania?
Oh jeez, has to be WrestleMania.
The Sheehan Express or the Family Bus?
Many great trips on the Sheehan Express up the games, especially there in 2004, 2005, 2006. So yeah, it has to be Sheehan Express for me. Many thanks to Ian, who very patiently ran those buses up and down the country there close to 20 years ago. Hope Ian is doing very well now and enjoying his retirement from the bus scene. He certainly deserves it.
And then finally, what's the go-to pizza topping?
I was listening to the Toe Tap podcast actually earlier in the week, and when the lads asked Graham Cummins the same question, I was just thinking to myself, geez, barbecue sauce based pizza. So yeah, delighted, at least I've something in common with Graham Cummins anyway, at least. So yeah, it has to be barbecue sauce based, and then anything on top, I'm easy that way, not picky at all.
Question here on Instagram, Dec. What colour is the new away jersey and when is it going to be released?
Hopefully it'll be released a couple of weeks after the start of the season. Colour wise, we're probably going to go black. I mean, back to previous colour that we might have used in recent years. Very excited to get that out in front of fans. I'm sure it'll be very popular. And look, our new green shirt as well, insanely popular shirt. Looks fantastic as well. I saw some photographs of it there being worn by the players up at the St. Pat's game. So yeah, that's very popular and still selling like hotcakes. We're due to restock it very soon as well. It's flying out of the shop, so hopefully fans can get their hands on one very soon as well.
Perfect. Thanks for coming in. It's obviously a very busy time for everyone at the club. We've got the season coming back, the league kicking off, and the Win a Car fundraiser as well. So everyone's up the walls. I think we'll be switching back to more regular updates as well. So we'll be having videos like this for members monthly. So
yeah, that'll be great, Aaron. You'll probably be sick of me after a couple of months of these interviews, but yeah, again, hugely important time for the club, as you said, to start of the season now coming soon. The Shells game, the Galway home game. Hopefully we'll have a packed house there as well. The Win a Car fundraiser in particular as well. We've got fantastic support already for that. The draw date is edging ever closer, so if you haven't bought tickets, you can go to corkcitycar.ie and make sure that you're in. A huge season ahead for the club, and hopefully we see big crowds out now for the next couple of home games. Looking forward myself as well to meeting supporters again at home games. There's a lot of fans and supporters who were unable to attend games over the last couple of years. Very sad times for everyone, but look, hopefully we're out of the worst of that now and back to some level of normality, and seeing a packed crowd in Turner's Cross there's nothing better really on a Friday night. So very excited for the season ahead, and thanks for having me on.